Do you guys understand saging?
Yes,
I think I do.
Okay. Well, that takes us into our next point here. I want to tap into, I saw this, a clip of this, right? So I had to go find the interview, and I want to play a bit of it because it had music on it. So I'm going to play this piece of where this girl gets into talking about saging.
I feel like, you have to live and you learn. It was a lesson. I had to go through it to be able to, like, I guess, educate or tell my testimony. Because, like, even in my work now, I have so many people that come to me and they talk about just everything. I was burning sage, and I immediately tell them, do you even know, like, the origin behind sage, how it works? Do you know what you're really doing when you burn that sage?
No, tell us a little bit, because, baby, I don't always know the origin. Okay, so come.
So a lot of people think when you burn sage, you're clearing the energy of all the spirits and stuff like that, but actually, that's not how it works. When you the history behind burning sage, the Indians used it to actually invoke spirits. So you are clearing energies, but you're also invoking the dead to come in and protect you. So, like I was telling my one client, when you burn that sage, true enough, you might be clearing your energy, your home and stuff like that, but you're also inviting spirits in. You don't know who you're invoking. You don't know who stayed at that house or that apartment before you. You don't know who is attached to you, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know who sent what spirit to follow you, or whatever the case may be. But when you burn that sage, you woke it up. You woke it up, and you thought you were clearing your energy, but no, you woke it up, and then they tell you, open the doors and open the windows when you're burning it, because you're going to free it. No, you're bringing it in. You're bringing the spirits inside. Like, it's deep. A lot of people be out here practicing and don't know.
These folks out here lying to y'all, okay? Opening the windows and the doors and burning the sage is actually invoking spirits, not getting rid of them.
Yeah.
Okay. I just had to drive that point home, right? That's why. So what were some of the other things that you were doing at that time that are considered witchcraft?
So I was one of the ones that, before I realized what burning sage actually did, I was burning sage. And then I switched over to Palo Santo, and I started burning that. And then I started burning just all kind of stuff.
Which Palo Santo is a whole religion, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know if it's like a religion. I just know it's supposed to bring the good vibes and stuff as well.
No, I think it's like an entire religion in Latin America.
Probably so. Probably so. But so I was burning that. I was burning all kind of things. Whatever that they had at the spiritual shops.
Religion?
What are they called?
Palo Santo?
Apothecary. I think that's what they're called. But anyways, whatever they had there, and they say it was supposed to bring good luck or, bring positive energy. I was burning in my home. I would wear the evil eye necklaces or bracelets.
No, it's called the evil eye. What make you wear it?
It's called the evil eye because it's supposed to protect you. The eye is supposed to be able to, like, see the evil that's coming towards you, and it was supposed to protect you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's part of certain religion. And that's why I kind of like try to watch what I call witchcraft and stuff like that, because on other parts of the the world, that's just their culture. Like, so I don't want to say it's witchcraft. It's just not what I worship and practice no more. So I don't really want to say witchcraft because I don't want to step on anybody's toes and be disrespectful. But
Well, I'll say it for you. Because it's witchcraft, okay? If you don't serve the true and the living God, no.
Yeah.
I'll say it for you, boo. I ain't scared.
Yeah.
What I will say is that having a child actually awakened my desire to understand more spiritually, right? Not to the extent of wanting to burn sage or anything like that, but I am aware that there's a spiritual world, like an entire spiritual world. And regardless of whether I'm actively aware of what's going on, it's still going on.
Right.
So let me get a little bit of knowledge so that I can spiritually cover my home.
Exactly.
Because, baby, I ain't going. Okay, about my husband and my child.
Right.
Don't play with it.
Period.
So, and that's why I'm like, as a parent.
Interesting. So this young lady also goes on to talk about getting a reading and learning from her reading that somebody was like, I guess, like watching her and putting spells out there or whatever. And it ended up being her baby daddy's new girlfriend or something like that. I guess, like putting a hex out there. I guess the girl was doing certain spells to try and get more people to like her and believe her and stuff like that. And she also talks about an energy being in her house, right? And how she would notice certain energy in a certain space. And one time her child told her, like, hey, the boogeyman or whatever, like, it's over there. And it was in the same place that she felt the energy come from. So I just thought that was interesting. And I just wanted to bring it to the front. I always thought that saging was clearing your space. I never knew that you were bringing in certain spirits as you're trying to let negativity or, not so great things out. I didn't know that because she was saying something like when you open up those windows, they tell you to clear the space and stuff, open the windows. But she says you're just pretty much giving them free reign to come in. I was like, wow. So I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts about that from like your understanding of sage, whether you used it and, you know, what you make of what this young lady had to say.
I think it was, I mean, I'm going to say this. I don't know what she's talking about. I've never heard that, but just because I haven't heard it doesn't mean that it may not have truth to it. But what I understand about, excuse me, what I understand about spirits is that, you know, from people that do believe that you can get spirits attached to you and all of that type of shit, you don't have to burn no sage for a spirit to get attached to you. You could have a spirit that's attached to you before you even come into this world that was attached to a previous life. You could come in this world and then a spirit will see you and just decide to attach itself to you. So you don't need to burn sage in order to bring unwanted things onto yourself. That's not how it works. Okay. I also don't feel like you can technically call on things without actually calling on the things. You can't just burn incense, a damn, you know, herb and think that that's going to bring something to you without any other, you know, work, any writing, any thought. Like, no, I don't think that that's how that works at all, for one. But I did look up Palo, and what she's talking about is not Palo Santo, the wood. It's an Afro-Cuban religion developed in Cuba by enslaved Central African people, characterized by the veneration of spirits, ancestors, and use of sacred cauldron. Okay, so yes, a form of witchcraft, of ancestor veneration. You do not worship the piece of wood, baby. It is a tool like anything else. Oh my God, I'm a Catholic. Okay, well, I grew up Catholic, and in church we burned frankincense and myrrh because they said that's what they gave to Jesus. So they burned that in church, in Catholic church, every Catholic church. Also, we take on the bread and the blood of Christ. What the hell do you think that is? Christ is a dead person, and I'm symbolically taking a piece of food and some drink that is supposed to be his body and blood. Be for real. Yeah, come on. Like, be for real. I just finished. Y'all know what I like? The why am I spacing out? Florida water. I got some Florida water because I be like,
I heard about it.
I be like my mop soap and stuff. And I also got it for Lyric because one of my old co-workers, you know, we always out in the heat. He would freeze a bottle of water with Florida water in it. And as he would go on through the day, he would just pour the cold water on a towel and wipe himself off so he could smell good. Listen, it was a great tool. That nigga always smelled good. But to me, sometimes herbs and shit like that, or Florida water that have certain scents, the scents are calming. The scents put you in a certain mind space, but it's not something that can dictate spirituality or spirits just by itself. You know what I mean? Like, I think things are supposed to put you in a certain energy. Tools. You don't worship these things. And again, Jesus is an ancestor. If y'all believe that Jesus was a real person, Jesus would be a dead ancestor. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that
I don't know why y'all think Jesus wouldn't be a dead person. I don't know why y'all, if he was a real person, then he would have had to die. Y'all really work on my nerve. Y'all think because he died and came back and then went to the right hand of the Father. Then where would the Father be, y'all? Y'all think that Jesus is like alive but in heaven right now? Leave me alone.
You know, I was gonna say.
No, I was trying to hold it in too.
I was gonna say I identify as a Christian who believes in all the things, a spiritual, like I believe in all the things. Like my religion or the way I was raised has been rooted in Baptist Christian, but I'm also not so brainwashed to believe, like the girl simply said, there's a whole spiritual world. And if you're a Christian, do you know it's a whole spiritual world? But like Bondi said, I don't think that burning sage without calling on things is just going to attach things to you. I think that's part of the fear mongering that they add to religion that does the brainwashing part. So it's like, if I don't, it sounds very similar to like those Christians that say that yoga is demonic.
Yes.
Like that shit is crazy as hell. Oh, you haven't heard it?
Girl.
Yeah. Yes. There are Christians who think that yoga is demonic, like simply meditating.
And breathing.
Yeah, I just like, I don't know. And I'm also a Christian who loves astrology. I'm not going to hold you. I feel like if he made us, then he also made the moon and the stars, and he gave us access to learn these things. And there's people that have different ways of life, but I'm also not fearful of those things because, like Bonnie said, things can get attached to you one way or another. So I don't know. I think some of it is the fear mongering, and it does make me think back to what was taught to a lot of Black people in slavery. And I'm also going to key real quick because I think about some of the things that we do specifically in the South that's still rooted in that like afro-spirituality, but while also being Christians. Like I remember growing up and I asked my mama, when did I start walking? And she was like, I brushed your feet with a broom and you start walking. So that was, but we Christians. So like the thing was, they always say, oh, if your baby's trying to walk and you want to walk, just brush their feet with a broom. Like we jump the broom. We do so many things where I think that's kind of where the other girl was headed. The girl who said she actually used to burn sage. But the other girl was on I think she leans into the almost like toxic community of Christianity. Because I remember asking myself, again, when I was like getting ready to have Snow, did I want her to be raised in the church, or did I just want her to know how to pray, know those things? And I never wanted her to be raised in the church because then you pick up things like what the girl was saying. Oh, I'm big and bad. I'll say it. I'm like, I don't know. I think people just need to be a little bit more open-minded.
Yeah.
Just be a little more open-minded, and you don't have to practice the stuff that you're uncomfortable practicing. If you know there's another spiritual world, then what you're going to do, you're going to stay covered in the blood of Jesus, which sounds like a ritual.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
That's what it sounds like. We're covered in the blood of Jesus. Like, so.
There, you heard some other opinions.
Nah, I love it. I think that y'all are on point. Period. Because it just really boils down to what I think is the intention. Just like money, people do all kind of crazy with money. And it makes me do think that, maybe two things could exist, because what's meant for good, people always turn it into evil, you know? I feel like we'd be watching Disney movies like that. I feel like it may have been some cartoons where some magic was used for the good or whatever, and then somebody came in and saw how they could use it for their own personal gain, and then things got wicked, and then now we got fucking witches and all this other stuff.
And to me, the things that are actually like dark and evil, y'all don't really care about. Y'all just like throwing that on anything that you are, that's outside of your own religion or something that people have told you. And I just want everybody to remember historically that I know y'all like to reach for Ethiopia when y'all want to, but over here in this country, you were given a different Bible. You were given a Bible, the King James version of the Bible a lot of the times, and King James was a flaming homophobic but homosexual man. Like, you got like history will tell you a lot of things in order for you to unwrap yourself. Now, I go up for Christ consciousness, right? If you can unwrap yourself from all of those things but end up at the point of the meaning of it all. But to me, I have only seen people get lost in the religion and how it makes them feel better than other people, but they do not carry the meaning that was supposed to be given in the religion. Like, they're not actually giving people, they're not actually kind people. They really just want to judge other people and call shit demonic.
Damn, that sounds like MAGA.
It does. Yeah, do your own research, but also like read books. That might help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're at that place. I feel like we've always been at that place, but knowing that we have phones and everything at our fingertips, whenever we hear something, it's like, let me go and research that and just see.
Yeah.
And then maybe open up a book for additional context. But then you ain't got to go get a physical copy. You could just find a PDF or something.
And I pulled up the Palo Mayambe. I pulled that up in order to read what that was. It was that easy. And it's not, and I never thought it would be the worship of a piece of wood, baby. It would always be a
No.
tool. Nobody
I knew what
does
she was trying to say, because that's what they say that all the celebrities do in LA. That's what they say Beyonce, Solange, Kehlani, SZA,
that's what they've been
all
doing with
them
Stephen
do.
Rose.
Yeah, that's what they
Yeah.
say.
And the
I
girls
also
are
think
witches.
that
The girls are witches, but it's not
there are
innately
some.
evil the way you think it is. Honestly, a lot of what it really describes to me, my perspective, is people that work with the earth. Like people that work with the land, people that have more reverence for the earth that we are actually on. And that
Yeah,
went into the
yeah,
medicine that we lost. You know, used to be able to take a
yes.
hit
Mm,
and the baby just disappear. We
That's
don't have that.
how
I'm
That's how
screaming.
I see it too. And I think that the fear is also attached to the stigma that when we experience other, spiritualities, religion in the media, it's oftentimes we see it being used for evil, but people don't realize that the word in the Bible, people will also use in a negative benefit. They'll use certain words to convince you or brainwash you to stay in that abusive relationship while not even completely giving context of what the word actually says. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
you really can't trust people to be too far left or right. You kind of got to be right in the middle and understand where things are. So while also being respectful, which is kind of where the other girl sounded like she was going initially. So I don't know.